Hey fellas, so 16.7 is just expansion by minors, so this is just basically extrapolating a little bit more about what I already talked about determinants of 3 by 3 matrices or a third order determinant. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to, what we talked about was expanding by a minor. Okay, so it's picking one of the rows or columns to highlight, and you cancel out just like I showed you, and then multiply that by the 2 by 2 matrix that's left over. Okay, we usually just use the top row, but you can actually do any of them. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the positive and negative part, because that's what's, I know, confusing to you guys so far. Okay, so I told you guys when we're using the top row, you remember plus minus plus, right? And that is true, but there's actually a general case to decide whether or not it's supposed to be positive or negative. Okay, so you add the number of the row and column of that element of expansion. If it's even, you leave it alone. If it's odd, you change the sign or multiply by -1. Okay, so think about it. If we do the top row here, okay, that element's in the first row, first column. You add those two up, it's 2, you leave it alone. This one, first row, second column. You add it up, it's 3, multiply by -1, hence the negative. All right, this one, first column, or first row, third column, add them up, it's even, you leave it alone. That's how it works, right? Now the general case for how you do this. Okay, so we've already talked about expansion by minors in the first row, but we're just going to do the first example that way just to remind you what it looks like. Okay, so we pick the first one, cancel out everything else, you're left with a 2 by 2 matrix. Okay, so we're going to expand that minor. So this is equal to 3 times the determinant of 5, 1, 2, 6. Okay, and because it's in the first row, first column, add those up, it's 2, it's even, so you leave it alone. Second one, okay, this red one, okay, 2. First of all, you add those up, 1 plus 2 is 3. First row, second column, 1 plus 2 is 3. So you have to multiply it by -1. So it's going to be -2. Cancel everything out and it shares a row or column with it, and multiply by the determinant that's left, -1, 1, 0, 6. And lastly, 4 here, first row, third column, it's even, leave it alone, +4. Okay, cancel everything out, and multiply by the determinant of -1, 5, 0, 2. Okay, so once we get that set up, you simplify everything you can. Okay, so we've got 3 times 30 minus 2 is 28. Minus 2 times -6 minus 0 is -6. Plus 4 times -2 minus 0 is -2. Okay, so the answer is 3 times 28 is 84. 84 plus 12 is 96, minus 8 is 88. That's your final answer. And if you expand that by any of the minors, you're going to get the same answer every single time. That's what's kind of sweet about this thing. So we'll expand the second one by the minors of the second column. Now, that's why this is so helpful. It's because you could choose the one that makes most sense for you. You don't have to use the first row every time. Okay, so for this one, you've got 2 zeros here in the second column. So if you expand them by the minors of the second column, you're going to get 2 zeros, which is obviously really helpful for us. So, we've got 0 times this, you cancel everything out. And we have this determinant, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay. It is in the first row, second column, which means it's odd, which means it has to be negative. Okay. The next one, second row, second column, is even, so you just leave it. Sorry, I should probably change colors. Okay, so plus 5. All right, the determinant that's left when you cancel. Oh, shoot, that was not right. Start that over. Okay. We're doing the 5, cancel out, okay? Like I said, second row, second column, so it's going to be keep its sign still, positive 5. All right, we've got the minor that's left, -2, -1, 1, 2. And the last one here is 0, All right, 0 here is in the third row, second column, which means it's got to be negative. So let's change that to a negative since it's odd. And the determinant that's left is -2, -1, 3, 4. Okay, so we know that this one zeroes out, that one zeroes out because of the 0 coefficient. And lastly, we take 5 times -4, or -2 times +2 is 4, minus -1. So we have -4 plus 1 minus 3. The answer is -15. And that's the end of this lesson, so good luck.